Welcome to the Eric Zane Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures from right here in the Impact Power Sports studio. Impact Power Sports, online at impactpowersportsmi.com. All right. Several folks sent me audio off the top this morning. I have this for you. And by the way, this is a 2-act show, as it happens on Mondays. Act 1, Act 2. Act 1 goes till about 11. And then Act 2 picks up at about 11:30. Anyway, a couple of people reached out and said, easy, this audio has not aged well. And I'm like, I think it aged perfectly. I don't know what you're talking about. I think it has appropriate aging. Folks listened to something to listen to while I'm away, as I was away for Friday, and they said, uh-oh, this clip from back March 3rd, I think, 2010, that's the one I'm talking about. See if you can pick up what's interesting about this clip as to why it hasn't aged well. Or maybe it's actually aged appropriately.
Joe, do you agree?
Yeah, Joe.
Or disagree?
Well, you know my stance on beating up women. I could beat up anyone.
Oh, God.
I'm telling you. Hell yeah, I believe it.
And that's the end of it.
Of course I could. And I'm not talking regulation boxing. I'm talking I'd pick them up and throw them and then stomp on their face.
Bar fight.
Okay. Very, very weird. Not that there's any connection. Not that that has ever happened. We all know that that's just weird. You know why? Why would anybody even have a problem with that? I don't understand why anyone would suggest anything about that audio. I mean, we all know that Joe has never beat anybody up.
Joe?
Except me in 15-second fight, right?
Do you agree?
Yeah, Joe.
Or disagree?
Well, you know my stance on beating up women. I could beat up anyone.
Oh, God.
I'm telling you. Hell yeah, I believe it.
And that's the end of it.
Of course I could. And I'm not talking regulation boxing. I'm talking I'd pick them up and throw them and then stomp on their face.
Bar fight.
All right. Thank you, Chris. Chris writes, hot mic, easy. At first, I didn't know what you were talking about. Because to me, hot mic means one thing. It means like it's open when you don't intend it to be open. But mine was up a little too loud. So it was all crispy and distorty. I apologize for that. It's weird because when I do the radio show, it's at a different level. And I don't adjust it when I start here. Kenny writes, yeah, thanks, Chris. And then he said, not like I said anything. Oh, I didn't see your comment. I missed. Chris's was the first one that I looked at. But way to be snarky about it. Pain in the ass. Anyone ever call you a pain in the ass? Because you are a pain in the ass. There's a reason why you're saved in my phone as High Maintenance Kenny. It's because you're a pain in the ass. If someone said, do you love Kenny? I'd say, yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. What do you think about him? He's a pain in the ass. He's annoying as shit. Yeah, that's Kenny. Johnny writes, way to insert yourself into another piece of content. Oh, absolutely, that's what he did. Look at it. It was 5 comments in a row. All it takes is me just to say, thanks, Chris. Yeah, I said it too. Just shut up, okay? God. Kenny says, my point was, I said it first. What are you, 5? I was first. Shut the fuck up. pain in the ass. What an annoying bastard you are. You know that? You are an annoying child. Ugh. God. Ladies and gentlemen, I sit here before you. You are looking at a man who I really got out of my element this past weekend. Dare I say, I have developed a set of skills of a handyman. 2 years ago, I was given a gift. It's called a skill saw. Skill saw, circular saw, and most of you already know what that is. In fact, everyone's probably used one. Most of you probably used one recently. Well, maybe not most of you, but you know what a circular saw is. Just you run it along. It's got cuts the wood. I got that thing, and it's never been used. That shows you how much I've been. I don't know why I even asked for it. I think I asked for it because I wanted to do some projects up north. Well, as it would be, I was up north this past weekend, and the plan was this outhouse that we have is 50, 60 years old, and the way this thing was built was my dad built the outhouse, and then when the paint started to peel on it in 19 whatever year it was, instead of repainting it, he just nailed on plywood onto it, like almost like layers. Like these are like it's an outhouse's equivalent of those Russian dolls. They get bigger and bigger with each layer. I didn't even know it when I started to pull the wood off, but it has to be replaced. So I got a pry bar and a hammer, and I start pulling out nails to reveal one layer of wood coming off with underneath it another layer of wood. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. This thing was a pain in the ass to get the wood off. And I unearthed so many different ecosystems of carpenter ants. You feel like Godzilla destroying Tokyo when you rip off a layer of the wood and you see these giant ants grabbing eggs in their little pinchers and running. Some of them have wings, And I'm like, what the fuck? Jesus. So it takes forever to get this wood off. Old rusty nails, and it's just not easy. And then I got this pinched nerve, so my arm's tingling at times because of the position I'm in. Real pain in the ass. Okay, get all this shit off, and now I've got to replace the wood, and I've got the wood, and I've got my saw, and I'm like, okay, and all I remember is I think there's something that you geniuses have said as measure twice, cut once. So I'm measuring twice and I'm cutting once, and it's all going well. And then I put the wood on and nail it onto the 2x4s, and away we go. And it's shaping up, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. Now we get to the top of it, and this is where it's going to get more tricky for your old pal EZ, because now after a few cuts, I'm getting cocky. I feel like a real carpenter. There's nothing like doing some work that makes you feel satisfied. Everybody talks about satisfying videos all day long. You watch like some guy cut the lawn or some guy cleaning a carpet, or my latest one is watching people sandblasting metal and getting the rust off. It's like, God, it's so satisfying. Well, I'm living the dream at this point. And I got to do a portion of the outhouse where the roof peaks, so I got to cut an angle, just a triangle. And so I don't know how to do that. So just to spare you the boring details, I go, all right, I'm going to measure this. Okay, this is this many inches. This is this many inches. I put a point there, draw a line. I go, all right, that's it. That is going to fit perfectly. And then another line. This is the peak of the outhouse. Last piece of the puzzle. I cut the thing, and I take this piece of wood up the ladder, and I put it up there, and it's not even close. And I'm like, oh, how the fuck? How did I do this? What did I do? A real person, a real man would have gotten down and gone back to the drawing board and cut another piece of wood. But not me. No, I just nailed it onto the front of the outhouse. So now it looks like Homer Simpson built it. It's not rickety, it's sturdy. But, and then I got to thinking, I go, you know what? Fuck it. It's an outhouse. This is not the Taj Mahal. Don't worry another second about it. So that was that. Got it done. Meanwhile, while I'm up there, everybody's telling me, EZ, Northern Lights. And I'm like, huh? Yeah, the Northern Lights. And I sure enough, I look on all my usual spots that I look, and everybody is like, Northern Lights, Northern Lights. And I go outside, and I look. Now, the way this works is from the top of the globe, and then depending on whatever the solar storm, it works its way down into North America. And typically, it doesn't really fall much further than Canada. But this particular solar storm had it so that people south of me are saying, we see him, we see him. I'm like, holy shit, this is going to be great. I go outside. I look to the north. Nothing. Fuck. I go back inside. Online, everybody's got pictures of Northern Lights. I've seen them twice. If you've never seen them, they're outstanding. It's incredible. All these weird greens and purples and reds and blues. Nothing. So I fall asleep. Now, up there, it's a small bed. It's a full-size bed. Not a twin, a little bit bigger than that, a full. So less than a queen size, more than a twin. When I sleep here at home, we have 2, maybe 3 dogs on the bed. I know some of you are grossed out by that, but no judging. When I'm up there, I've got 4. And in the middle of the night, it's a really small enclosed room in the back of this old trailer. One of the dogs had the worst case of anal gland secretion, and it actually woke me up. Like, the smell woke me up. And so the smell, though sickening to me, and an anal gland does not smell like feces or anything. If you've never smelled a dog's anal gland, it's a very mysterious smell. And it smells like a strange chemical concoction. It almost feels toxic. Like what you're inhaling is actually going to hurt you. So I'm laying there, and I'm like, oh my God. And all of the dogs now wake up because they love it, and they're interested. You see, that's what dogs are. When they get smells, it's interesting to them. That's why when you're walking, they're like, they stop in the oddest spots because they smell something. And they're like, oh my God, I just can't stop smelling this. Well, that's what they're all doing. And they're trying to pinpoint what ass it's coming from. So on the bed, you've got each dog is trying to sniff the other dog's asshole. Sometimes 2 dogs are sniffing one asshole, and they're, by process of elimination, trying to determine where the stench is. And I think we got it pinpointed to either O'Neill or Darla, but imagine that. And I'm like, holy fuck. Open the window, put the fan in to blow some fresh in, and it was bad. Saturday, I should say, yeah, that was Friday. Then Saturday, same thing. Finish up my work, go to bed. I'm getting text messages. Northern Lights are back. Northern Lights are back. Where I'm at, there's absolutely no light whatsoever. It's completely dark, way up north. And then headed over to look outside, And I'm looking at the Northern Lights. No, they're still not there. Everybody's still taking pictures. I did not see them. The fattest bear is in the chat. And I believe that's Jeremy K. He says, looked at the title of the stream. Looks like EZ heard my clips. I don't know if you, I did see you send a lot of clips, but I got more than one person suggest to me about this clip right here that for some reason people are telling me this didn't age well. And I can't figure out why you would even say that.
Joe, do you agree?
Yeah, Joe.
Or disagree?
Well, you know my stance on beating up women. I could beat up anyone.
Oh, God. Anyone,
I'm telling
right,
you.
yeah.
Hell yeah, I believe it.
And that's the end of it.
Of course I could. And I'm not talking regulation boxing. I'm talking I'd pick them up and throw them and then stomp on their face.
Bar fight.
Boy, that's weird. Weird clip there. Aram says, were those termites? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe they were. Nick says you should have burnt it and started new. Are you crazy? You know the costs of lumber these days? The 2x4s are all completely intact, you stupid hilljack. And it's an outhouse. It's fine. I'm going to send you the work I did. Not you. I'll just send it to myself and show you right now. I'm pretty damn proud of this. All right. Eric. I should have had this ready to go. A real professional would have. Am I a real professional? No. Those days are long gone. Anyway. That was my weekend. And, okay, here you go. That's the outhouse. Don't mind on the floor of the outhouse. That's all like wood and leaves and scraps and shit. That is the Fear Bunker North outhouse, and that is the work I did. Now, at the top of it there, you can't see it, but this peak is completely off. It just doesn't fit right. Cosmetically, it doesn't look great up there, but who's going to go and admire the work of an outhouse? In fact, I'm guessing just by you all seeing the work that I did on this, you're like, easy, that's not bad. Now, at the bottom here, you see these cinder blocks that it's sitting on? Where it's red here in the middle in the entryway, and then to the left and right of that, that's where the termites or whatever they were. And that wood is pretty much gone. But to me, I'm not going to go and rip this whole damn thing down just because of a little bit of rotted out wood. Okay? This is redneck, all right? We're not worried about it looking that great or anything. Give me a break. Aram asks, are you just leaving the OSB exposed? No, sir. Of course not. We don't want that. I'm getting back up there very soon to paint it. Like, you can't get that wet. If that OSB gets wet, you're done. Nick says you should have went pressure treated. OSB gonna fall apart in 2 years. That's not true. I don't believe that. 2 years? Are you telling me in 2 years I paint that? That'll be perfect. Are you kidding me? Aram says you're painting OSB? Yeah, why not? What do you want me to do? Is that bad? Painting? Oh, by the way, I had that piece of wood in my garage forever. It didn't cost me anything. I just said, whatever. Is it okay to paint OSB? OSB's open strands readily absorb the paint, requiring 2 or 3 coats of primer to close up the pores. I guess it's okay. Is it recommended to paint OSB? Let's see. I don't. This one says when I painted OSB, never had a problem. Only difference is I installed my OSB with the rough side out. I like the texture. Well, I don't see the problem with that. I don't think there is any problem with that. I think you guys just like to take a look at my stuff and my efforts and try to make me feel like an asshole. That's what I think. That's what I think is what's going on here. Yeah, here I am, excited about my efforts, and I'm looking at all of these ridiculous comments, and everybody is just telling me how fucked up that is. Stevie says no door. No, the door's coming. Are you just leaving the OSB exposed? Should have when pressure treated, as I read. Tim says this is upper class redneck. David says that will be awful. Donut Dan says termites like the glue in OSB. Patrick says you want to use pressure treated. David says it's going to rot fast. Aram says put some house wrap on it and then side it. No, it's an outhouse, you jerk. Patrick says I'd paint the hell out of it. Yeah, that's the plan. Bob says rebuild it brick. Aram says stay away from my house, easy. Kenny makes a crybaby comment because he is. He writes, I thought it looked good, but I'm already the asshole somehow today. What do I know? You see, ladies and gentlemen, what that is there is Kenny didn't like that I was reading all of your comments. Okay? So what he had to do was that so that this right now was happening. He can't help himself. That's what happened there. You know what you should do? You should either sit the rest of the comments out or just leave. You got to pick one. You either sit out the rest of the comments or you can't participate today and you have to go play Centipede or something. Donut Dan says OSB is the layer on the outside of most houses before it is covered by siding. Yeah, I know. What about outhouses? Aram says buy a plastic Porta-John. It would look much better. David in Hudsonville says OSB is the wrong choice, easy. You guys don't know what you're talking about. No, it's going to be fine. Relax. In 15 years, when I'm back here podcasting, all right, I'm still going to have that thing. Now Kenny is delivering obscenities and acting hurt and butthurt and telling me to go fuck myself. That does not surprise anybody. You have to go. You either sit out voluntarily or just don't comment. You are not allowed to participate anymore today. You're banned from the chat. Aram says cedar would be an appropriate choice. I cannot believe you guys are so critical of that fantastic work that I did. Need I show you? Look at that. That is awesome. No one could do much better. That is a good-looking outhouse. I love that. I can't believe you guys are so jealous about my efforts. Dan says typical Monday for Easy and Kenny. Oh, absolutely. Roger says spray it with Line-X. I don't know what that is. David says it looks good. It's not finished. No, I just got to paint it and then it's done. Once I paint it, it's all taken care of. I'm so proud of that. I don't care what you guys say with your jealousy. Tim Kuiper says cedar is expensive. This is Eric we are talking about. Remember, he's got to maintain his hot tub. Aram says Easy needs to post this to his Facebook page so we can zoom in and really critique it. No, I'm not. You guys, I'll tell you what. Let me finish it. As soon as I finish it, then I'll post it for you. David wants me to put siding on the outhouse. You idiot. You guys are jackasses. I cannot believe this. Well, anyway, I enjoyed doing it. And I only got one splinter. This one, like, buried in my hand. Wasn't bad. Wasn't bad at all. All right. I got a couple mentions about chiropractors. I saw Joe Martinez said, giving me all sorts of shit because my pinched nerve is still bothering me. When I was hammering the nails, I'd be hitting them, and then all of a sudden I'd get a jolt of electricity go through my shoulder down into my hand. And my hand, I would drop the hammer. I'd be swinging it, and I was hitting the nail, and all of a sudden I missed the nail. Because it's like useless. Comes and goes. So broken. Aram says, is there a sewer line somewhere, or do you clean it out by hand? There is no running water at Fear Bunker North. This is literally out in the middle of the forest. Okay? If we decided to dig a well, there would have to be a lot of extensive testing on the water because this is just a hole in the ground that we crap in. And whatever is there, no doubt, eventually finds its way into the aquifer below the land. This isn't like even legal, frankly. And there's only been one time that we've had to dig another hole and move the outhouse. But, I mean, not a lot of people crap in there. So it doesn't really fill up at all. It just kind of like falls apart. And then we dump fireplace ashes in it when the fire's done burning. And it doesn't even smell in there. I swear to God, it's pristine. You could eat off the floor. It's that clean. Nick says, I made my own well for $500. Only got to be a 75-foot well to septic. Oh, okay, then I'd be fine. Yeah, no, I don't. Aaron, we don't clean it out. I haven't cleaned it out ever. My dad did once, but no. It's just a big shit pile in there. You know? All right. All in all, a good time. There was one point when I'm up on the ladder and I look around and only O'Neill is out in the laying down, and I go, uh-oh, where are the other two dogs? Benny is inside the trailer. So I beep the horn on the truck, and Darla comes running out of the woods. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even know she was out there. Shit, I should be more careful. If I lose the dog, that's going to be a nightmare. But there's no Bruce behind Darla. And I'm like, oh, boy. So I honk the horn again. Nothing. So then I sound the alarm on the truck, and it's going nonstop. And there's no Bruce. Now I'm freaking out because he could be anywhere. And like an hour before that, I got a notification on my phone telling me that his electronic GPS collar is dead. And it doesn't even work that great up there to begin with. So I got to charge the thing. I was like, oh, my God, this is terrible. So I'm starting to panic. Then I had a notion. The door to the trailer is there's an extension cord coming out of it, so it can open and close just by pushing it. And Benny, who's inside, knows how to open that thing. I go, I'll bet you he pushed that open to go to the bathroom. And then Bruce ran in. And then he opened the door and went in himself because he knows how to do that too after he got done going to the bathroom. I'm like, you know what? I'll bet you. Sure enough, I open the fucking door and there's Bruce. And he's like looking at me like, what? Why are you honking the horn? I go, thank God. There's nothing more relieving than that. I'm telling you right now. Okay. For those of you that are watching the show on Facebook, X, and YouTube, thank you for being here, but it's time to send you on your way.